Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the United Stand. I'm Liam Gallagher. I'm not very happy. Manchester United have just won the FA Cup in the sunshine.
United!
It's not actually Liam Gallagher, obviously it's Kevin, I'm in disguise, but I would like to address the blue kind of nation or whatever they call it.
Small nation.
The small nation. I'd like to certainly address Liam Gallagher, who gives it the big one, and your brother Noel, who you don't speak to, but I'm not really bothered. Also Curly Watts, Bertie McGoo, and any other Man City fan who just rocked up today and basically took it for granted, because you've won a lot of trophies, you know, you've had a successful kind of era in the last 10 years. You thought it was just part of the party that you would turn up today and turn over United. And maybe some United fans were going along that line of not being confident, but we've done it. We've done it, Tom. We've done it, Mark. We've done it. People won the FA Cup. Absolutely brilliant. And last week, I will just address a comment that I actually said. Somebody DM'd me last night and said, Kev, you said that if United win the FA Cup final, you would go to the supermarket across the road, drink a load of beer and spend the night in the studio. That still applies. If you can't actually tell, we went over to the pub at the final whistle, didn't we, boys? Yeah. We had a couple of drinks, should I say. That's why you've got Giddy Kev, Giddy Tul, Giddy Mordzs. But listen, let's not beat around the bush here. Man United, against all the odds. I'm not saying it was kind of Man City against Wigan where it was a total shock, but I think in terms of what we were kind of expecting, the expectation and that, Mordzs. Yeah. Just sum up. I mean, I've wrote down here, what does the FA Cup final mean to you? What did that mean to you today, the performance the lads went in? We will run through players, we'll get through super chats to get them in as well, but what does the FA Cup mean to you?
Honestly, I still don't think this is real. Like, there's still a part of me that thinks, am I dreaming? Am I going to wake up on a Saturday morning again? And I'm thinking, oh, we've got to play City. Like, honestly, genuinely, I mean, I said it when we were outside. This today, what we've just done, what we've just seen this team do, in my opinion, it's made up for all of the losses, all the pain that I've seen on this fan forum, all of the stress that this team has put me through. What we've seen today, what United have done today, winning the FA Cup, has erased all of that, in my opinion. Look, this feeling, and I speak about this all the time, innit, on our other shows and whatnot, the feeling of winning a trophy is something you can't replicate. Arsenal can win all the games they won and come second, and Chelsea can win whatever they won, and Newcastle and all these other teams can win and whatnot. But see, when you win a trophy and you get to celebrate with other United fans you don't even know. just random people that we just met today. And everyone's cheering like we're just one big family. We're right outside, well, we're in Old Trafford anyway. And that feeling is honestly, I can't explain it. It's something that you genuinely, as a fan and as a real fan, because we're United fans, as real fans, it's something that you can't just buy.
You're going to have to explain it. It's not.
It's why you watch football. That is why you watch football.
This is why we watch football.
That is the feeling you want. That's the feeling you watch football for, and we don't get it very often. So buzzing. Yeah. Absolutely buzzing.
Tul, honestly, what does the FA Cup mean to you? Winning that today, again, and it was against the odds. Yeah. I know you said 3-0 at the start of the game. You were close, man.
For a while.
We both said 2-1, so I think we can, a mini celebration for us. But what does that FA Cup mean, you know, for you personally? Because I'm not going to lie, I sat here last season, same stage last season. Manchester City beat us 2-1. It's flipped round, and I was very emotional that day. I don't mind saying it, because as a United fan at that stage in time, City were looking at winning the treble, which they went on to do, and I just felt that we had it in our hands to kind of put a stop to that. We put a stop to a double, which they would have made history again, but I mean, just let it out. So honestly, we're freestyling here tonight in the United Stand, because it's very rare that we're in this position. It's been such a long season, but how are you feeling?
Yeah, it makes it all worth it, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, I'm a young Man United fan. I've not seen United win that many trophies, to be honest with you. It's the second FA Cup I can ever remember winning. I don't remember the last FA Cup I remember us winning was the Van Gaal one. Before that, I was a kid. I don't really get to see this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And every single one of those plays today deserved it. Every single one of them, no matter what we've said about them all season, they all turned up today. They all played like they died for that badge, and that's why I'm absolutely buzzing. Every single one of them today, just absolutely made up. Absolutely made up, mate.
I'll get through. There's a super chat from Casper Blom that says, "What's the odds on that?" ? He's staying. It's something we will get into later on. I think we should discuss. And it seems so horrible. I mean, you've just mentioned the Van Gaal kind of era, and his kind of role at United ended in similar kind of circumstances. There is no, smoke without fire. It does seem, that the press are coming out with this. Personally, I think yesterday was just a horrible time for it to come out. But the main thing is, the man behind me, Bruno Fernandes, our captain, lifting that trophy. That's all that matters today, because nobody... a lot of people didn't give United a chance today, but Josh Korn says, Eric has to stay. United! Love that, mate. Slow Sports News, who I met at the United Stand live show, absolute gentleman, says, "Yo, Kev, hope you're good, geezer." Of course I'm good. We're all good, aren't we? I'm sure we are. He says, I am. Yeah, fair play. He says, if United sack Erik ten Hag, it would be a big mistake. United used to be a name with integrity and morality. Now they are linked with toxicity. I always struggle with that word. And failure. Graham Barber says, salty blue tears are flowing. It's been a while. Almost forgotten how good they taste. Well, take it in and drink them bitter blue tears this evening. That's what I would say. If you've got a City fan who's a mate, I've got loads of it. I can't wait to pester him, because they're always quick enough to get onto me.
No, it's the
when they've been dominant and winning things. This is certainly... It wasn't part of the setup, this one. This is like the cat amongst the pigeons.
It's that humbling that makes it so much better.
Oh, it's so sweet.
We did a show in here with a City fan, and it was just that smug little arrogance that City fans have. It's like they just think they're going to win regardless. Like, it's United, we're going to win anyway, and I hope we do a show and we bring him back.
In fairness,
I hope we do.
In fairness, we've been rubbish all season, so the safe money or whatever would have surely gone on a City kind of win. To find yourself in a position where you're 2-0 up against City, it was like, you are really spoiling us. It was.
Yeah.
But Saints 96 says, beers are flowing, Ten Hag in, get in, boys. Do you know what I'd love, actually? We did the pre-show, didn't we? Yeah. That same person that I'm hearing the team news today who said, because Rashford started the game, I went from Ten Hag in to Ten Hag out, and that was just a knee-jerk reaction on the fact of the team news. Yeah, I wonder how that person is feeling this evening. LJ says, everyone point and laughed at the Erik ten Hag outers. 2 cups in 2 years, and now Europa League. That is the kind of carrot that's being dangled. It's almost like, right, all right, if it wasn't sweet enough that you've won the FA Cup, we obviously didn't finish in a position to qualify for Europe. Now we've got that European spot in the Europa League as well, which makes it even sweeter. He says, I'll see you in 18 for the next manager sacking, but for now, obviously enjoy it, LJ. Rahul says, Ogden at ESPN saying Erik ten Hag should be sacked. Shameful. I can't really comment on that too much because I've not seen if that is 100% true, but oh my word. I mean, there's loads of them coming through now. We've got winning a trophy against possibly the best team in Europe is an achievement. Ineos will be in stiff to stand by their call to sack Erik ten Hag now. Hell yeah. Anton says Man City tonight only won the FA Cup. United. Shaheen says we've seen it all. We've won the lot.
We're Man United and we're never going to stop.
We're not stopping. This is the start, man. Kipper says, now we are back in Europe. It would be really stupid to go for McKenna with no European experience. Eric must stay. Dino says, Bruno stood up for Erik ten Hag post-match, says it all. Yeah. I think some of these players, how could you not be behind this manager, Mords, after a performance like that? Do you know what we'll do? Let's just revisit the game. Let's go.
We'll go for the super chat.
It's been so much, Forget the super chat for 1 minute. That is no disrespect. I'll go back in a minute. But let's go back to the 29th minute, the Garnacho goal. I mean, it seems so long ago now, but...
I think, in that first 30 minutes, I thought, first of all, I have to apologise to Ten Hag because I got it wrong. You know, I saw the lineup, and a lot of people, when we revealed the lineup on the show, everyone was like, what? Ten Hag, he's playing Rashford, he's playing this player, why is he doing this? He's gone back to his usual setup.
In fairness, we all did at that stage. We were questioning it.
We were all questioning. I was like, Ten Hag, what are you doing? And I was wrong. Simple as I can hold my hand up and say, I was wrong. Ten Hag, you got it perfectly right. You genuinely got it spot on, and you have to give credit where credit is due. We've slaughtered this man all season. It was only a couple of days ago, everyone was saying he's gone, he's sacked, he's confirmed, he's gone. And now it's like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe we should actually keep him because he's genuinely done something that's impressive that not a lot of managers, in fact, most people who even watched saw the lineup probably disagreed with him. So the fact that he picked that lineup and you know, going into that first goal, it was obviously a bit lucky because, you know, Garnacho kind of carried on running, but it was that determination. The determination from Garnacho to even chase it down to the keeper and then carry on running, and he anticipated a mistake and he capitalised off it, and that's the mentality that we were kind of saying before the game. We need our players to fight for everything. Don't give up because you think, oh, they've got the ball. Keep going, keep fighting, keep running, keep pushing, keep pressing, and that's exactly how we got our first goal. So, round of applause to Garnacho, round of applause for Ten Hag for having we spoke about it when we were downstairs. That pressure to pick this team was incredible. Because nobody would have believed it. No, every single person was against him when he picked that team. Everyone thought, you know what, if you lose, it's your fault. And I said that myself. If you lose, it's your fault.
That takes some serious bollocks, mate. Some serious bollocks for him to drop Højlund and put Rashford in there. But it was bang on. The system we played was absolutely bang on.
Yeah. It worked.
30 minutes into the game when we got our goal, City hadn't had a shot yet. They hadn't had a single shot yet. It was literally done to perfection.
They did their first shot in a 50-something minute. I can't remember what it was.
That was even the corner count when, what was it? It was up near half-time before City got a corner. And I was like, this is unheard of. And you do need a certain amount of luck. But Robert says, look at how hard we were to beat in this game. We get our players and we're a great team. At points we were outplayed. Eric Ten Hag is a great coach and he needs to be given the chance. Anthony Tracy says United and Spurs in the Europa, we won FA Cup, Eric Ten Hag or Ange. And it does come down to that, because I'm sure you'll have Arsenal fans that will feel in their heads that they've had a better season than Manchester United.
They haven't.
But have you got one of them bad boys?
Exactly.
What have you got
to show for it?
I will happily take a trophy over second. I don't care. People are going to say that's wild.
Yeah, over a big fat
trophy,
bottle.
2 trophies in 2 years you haven't celebrated. They haven't celebrated in 2 years. We've celebrated twice. Yeah. You can't tell me that's a better feeling than coming second and pushing City all the way. I don't care about that. We've won. That's what we watch football for. That's the feeling that we want as football fans. So in my opinion, we've had a better season than Arsenal.
It comes down
we're still
to
playing
that.
In Europe.
You don't. Yes, of course we wanted Champions League football and we could have finished in that. But you know, you don't get a trophy.
A trophy always feels better than coming second. Always.
Of course it is. Let's have a look. Jersey Awu says, I'm sure Pep got it tactically wrong, relying on the fake team news yesterday. I'm the happiest man on earth right now. Glory, glory, Man United. Get in United stand. And as Mords rightly says, I feel I am overwhelmed, but at the same time, I don't want to come across as arrogant by saying we deserve this, but I do feel after the season that we've had, the fan forums that we've been on, you know, I said to you, it's not. It's still fresh in the memory. It's not long ago that Crystal Palace whooped us 4-0. You know, and how do you go out then and put a performance in against arguably the greatest team on the planet and do that? But you do need an element of luck. Max Weldon, thanks for the super chat. First ever super chat. Again, you've not even wrote anything, mate, but thank you very much. I love that. Yeah. Well, we will let you off this evening because if you're celebrating, I absolutely love that. Let's have a look. Fantastic performance. Eric Ten Hag got everything right, says James. Nick says, a message for Alan Shearer. I'm open ears to this
Cheer up, Alan.
Cheer up, Alan Shearer. He says, firstly, you're thick. Not Alan, if you're watching, not my words. This is Nick P. Secondly, if you don't have your best players available, how do you build chemistry to win a game? That's something we will get into because we talked about the back line at United and trying to get... And listen, today, absolutely bang on. I'm buzzing, man. Kia says, first year, Eric Ten Hag won Carabao Cup. Second year, he's won the FA Cup. The trajectory is upwards. Next is winning the Premier League. That's very, very ambitious to go from an FA Cup win, which is a cup competition, to what is it, a 38-game season? You know, the best team does win the league. The league table never lies. Sean says, Malacia appearance tonight. Am I dreaming? You are dreaming. He certainly did not play. Arthur says, where's that little city prat who was talking all that shite yesterday?
Yeah, bring him back.
Get him back on.
Bring him back, Luke.
Is that Luke?
Yeah, get him back on.
He's a nice guy in real life, but as a City fan, he's absolutely not bad.
He's got to take it though. Take your oil, as they say in Ireland. You know, if you're going to come here on the United stand and give it the big un, and he was rightly, you know, in his. He's young, he's grown up with the success. Yeah. City fans didn't see this one coming today, for sure. Barima says, City fans doing the Poznan before the game even began. Glad that they aged so badly. The players can turn it up if they really wanted to. The Poznan, for me, is a total embarrassment. I've said this earlier to you, didn't I? I know mates of mine, middle-aged men, grown men, jumping around with their arms around each other.
Like fairies.
Not even facing the game. They turn around and they're missing like vital bits of the game, and I go, come on, you know, grow up. Rory C says, it's amazing that Arsenal didn't win the league last season due to one injury to Saliba. That's actually quite true, that as well, because we play off this thing that, it was, you know, it's because Saliba was injured, you know, we didn't win the league. Look at the injuries that we've had and what Erik ten Hag's had to deal with. He says, that's what Sky said anyway, they cut down Erik ten Hag at any opportunity. Lokan, again, a super chat with nothing to say, so we can celebrate their first super chat. CJ says, I hope Erik ten Hag stays after this win. Most people didn't expect. What do you make of Rashford crying? His last game or just relief after having such a rubbish season? There's loads to get through. I think I'll save a couple of
think it's just the outburst of the season he's had and the amount of pressure he's been under, the amount of stick he's received. It's just all of those emotions come out in one.
Well, it is, Tul, because what was the game recently where, you know, somebody was in the Stretford end? Newcastle. Yeah. You've got your own fans in the Stretford end, or supposed fans, as I will call them, and they're screaming at you. You know, Rashford is one of our own. He's you know, come up through the youth academy. But to have one of your own fans, they're imbeciles anyway, but to have somebody like shouting, you're shit, you shouldn't be in the team, or leave the team, it would affect you, and that's why it was such a huge thing, wasn't it, that Rashford actually kind of started this game today, the pressure that was on him from the start. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. How can you turn up to a football match and give your own players abuse? It's like...
But we're a toxic fan base. It's like I think we all know that, though.
It's the complete opposite idea of going to a football game, isn't it? But in terms of Rashford, we were saying on the build-up show, what a massive show of faith in Marcus Rashford today from Ten Hag. A massive show of faith. And, you know, Rashford might not have done anything. I mean, the pass was great. We'll talk about the pass. But he might not have been all over the place and absolutely controlling the game like a Bruno or a Mainoo was. But that system where it was the four guys at the front pressing, he was part of that system. He was vital. That's why McTominay played. The only reason McTominay played was because of that system, and it's credit to Ten Hag. But Ten Hag's picked out and going, well, Rashford's the guy for that over Højlund, and it's a massive, massive, massive call, and it's worked. So credit to Rashford, credit to Ten Hag.
I think with Rashford, what you said is 100% fact. He was needed today, but I think in terms of the reason why he was crying, like, I mean, we kind of forget sometimes that he is a United fan first.
Yeah, he's one of us.
Before a footballer, I get football's his job and he's an employed, you know, person for Man United, but he grew up in Manchester the same way how, you know, a lot of us grew up in Manchester, and he's a United fan first. So if I was on that pitch, I would have cried too, seeing us win the FA Cup. So it's a big mixture of, you know, relief, because one, the season's finally done, probably his worst season he's ever had. Two, winning the FA Cup, and then just the fact that he can now just breathe, knowing that he's had a good performance actually. He was involved in that goal heavily, and like I said, we're going to talk about that pass. He was involved in the game in a positive way. He can finally just rest, finally just get all his negativity out of his system, just avoid all the noise. He's got a trophy to lift up. You can go back home and just chill, and I think that's. I mean, anybody would have cried in that situation.
He needs a holiday, man. He needs to go on holiday and turn his phone off.
He's got Marbella.
Just needs to go on holiday for 4 weeks, turn his phone off, and watch England.
Relax. Don't go to Belfast, that's what I would say. CJ says, I hope Erik ten Hag stays after this win. most people did not expect. What do you make of Rashford? Oh, sorry, I've just read that one. Eric Ten Hag is in the chat. Of course he is.
Oh, Eric, come on, Eric.
Messiah is in the chat.
Come on, Eric.
Don't worry, guys, I'm staying. Good game, eh? And then like 2 glasses, like chinking along a beer.
I love
Fair
that,
play
Eric.
to you.
We have to fight.
Mythic says if it's to be Eric Ten Hag out, McKenna is the best option in the market. We will get into that in a bit. For the one thing I want to keep here is absolute positivity, because United have just won the FA Cup. I think it's highly, highly disrespectful to be talking about different managers. Anybody, I don't think you're wired up right. If you're in the position this evening where you're actually, going, yeah, Ten Hag needs to go. We did have this with Louis van Gaal. He was sacked after an FA Cup final kind of win, but it was totally different. That Mohammed says Eric Ten Hag has now won more than Arteta ever has at Arsenal.
Yep.
My manager.
Facts.
Straight facts.
2 in 2 years, 1 in 5 years.
Bang on.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah,
Simple
and that
as.
was Mohammed's first ever super chat. What an absolute belter. That is getting superseded to the top of the list. That's the super chat of the evening so far. If you want to get yours in, make sure you do. Manchester City fan for life is in. Says, speak about City being hungover.
We don't care. We don't care. You lost.
Yeah.
We don't
If
care.
anything, the best thing was, we said it as a joke before, didn't we? Because I was like, before the game started,
right, didn't it? It
yeah.
looked like it
Well, look at the
was.
first goal. When
Yeah.
does City ever gift anybody a goal like that?
Yeah, literally-
That's Sunday League.
Yeah.
I used to play Sunday League football. That's the kind of thing, and that's where you were out till about 4 or 5 in the morning drinking. You had 2 hours sleep. You get to a game, and that's the kind of thing you would do. And I was like, we needed an element of luck today. We certainly got that, but at the same time, all the players were like just tuned into the job that they had to do. Zah says, I always knew that we needed a team, so some players came back. Look what we were able to do from Africa. Big up Africa. Il Bears says, ready for McKenna ball, lads.
No, I'm not
Let's
ready.
just not talk about it.
Yeah. It isn't. It's not the right time. Honestly, go out, enjoy it, do whatever makes you happy. Take the dog for a walk, go for a pint, drink a glass of water. Just, honestly,
whether he stays or not, today is all about Eric Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he won us that game, and none of us, when we seen that lineup, none of us had a clue what he was going for, but he knew, and he got it absolutely bang on.
Yeah. Raoul says, I flew to Manchester from Chicago for the first leg of the derby at Old Trafford. We got battered. This feels so sweet. It does. We said earlier, drink it in. Drink in the tears of these City fans, because it's absolutely sensational, and I am here for it. Josh Wood, thanks for the super chat. Didn't say anything. Giannis says, I'm more shocked to see Malacia. Oh, I've already read that one. I'm absolutely buzzing. There's loads of them here. Lorcan says, United, King Eric from the boys in Rutland. Luke said, super stoked for the TUS Army. That's us, or the TUS team, the United Stand team. As content creators, you need this positivity. By the way, I used to live in Poznan, and City lost that game from which they took the celebration small club mentality. They did. They stole the Poznan.
Yeah,
they don't have a mind of their own, these City fans.
No identity.
And that's, exactly. And the mere fact they call it the Poznan. We know it was Lech Poznan who invented this kind of thing. But that's the City thing. Yeah, let's do the Poznan. Yeah, grow up. Ash says, not a good person, but I prayed today. Oh, not a God person, but I prayed today. Let's go United. Well, Ash, your prayers
Have worked.
They've been answered, mate.
Did it influence the game?
They've been answered,
Had
mate.
to.
Had to.
Well done, Ash. Fair play. Mohammed, member for 12 months, the United Stand Members Club, said, buzzing that we won, but what I can't understand, that there are some twats that are complaining about how we played. Glory, glory, United. Kirk says, it's disgusting from the media. If Ten Hag still gets sacked, then I'll be Ineos out. Just lost that one because it's just as bad as the Glazers. Josh says, from QPR, thank you for saving football. Keep your manager. Oh,
Get in, you.
have we saved football today?
We've done it. We've done our bit, haven't we? We've definitely done our bit.
Yeah.
We could have done with doing it last season and stopping the treble, but
Heritage.
yeah, we've come back and we've made
Heritage.
some kind of amendment to it.
Hatligan, I think that's how you pronounce it. This could actually now supersede the tweet from earlier. Oh, sorry, the super chat from earlier. Make sure you get yours in. It says, David De Gea's tweet 1 hour ago has got more likes than Manchester City's title-winning tweet, and we're supposed to believe their revenue is that high. Laugh my arse off.
It's 150
charge him, man.
I love that. Hey, listen, we don't want to get shut down on here. Elliot says, first super chat. Yes. He says he's smoking a Cuban at 3 a.m. I hope that's not a euphemism. In Outback, Australia. Glory, glory, Man United, Eric Ten Hag. In Harrison says, you guys missed my super chat. Sorry about that, mate. There's so many coming through. Ethan says, oh my God, is that a Nirvana tattoo on your neck?
Yeah, it is.
Respect. It is. Yes, I like that.
Good spot, mate.
Joshua says, what a win. Yeah, United. Love this. What honestly, I'm here for days like this, Mords, where we get so much positivity. Spencer says, luck is the residue of design. Today we had both. Owen says Harry Kane went to win 3 trophies, almost all of them, and life moves in mysterious ways. Ways, lads. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I mean, I'll come back to them in a minute because we can get bogged down with like just.
It's non-stop, man. Yeah.
I really want to soak this up because I keep looking when I'm looking to the side of Tul, Mords, and I'm thinking this was the side that I wanted to see. That is Bruno Fernandes, our captain, lifting the FA Cup. Honestly, it's still not sunk in. So much to take in today. Make sure you get your super chats in. We'll revisit them in a minute, but obviously I need to ask the panel their thoughts. We've been through Garnacho's goal, which I think we can all agree was an absolute gift of a goal, which we'll take every day of the week. You know, lovely, lovely stuff. But on 39 minutes, one of our own again. We talk about Rashford. We're going to go Kobie Mainoo, 19 years old. The build-up to this, I know you want to mention the Rashford pass as well. The Bruno pass. You know, I'm sure Ricky will be there somewhere. Bruno meant to shoot there. He did not mean to shoot, Ricky. What an assist. But talk me through it, Mords. 39 minutes, Mainoo goal, 2-0 up, Dreamland.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, it started with that Rashford pass. And in my opinion, I was thinking, when did he learn to pass like that? Like, I think you said you've seen him do it like one other time, like this was from Greenwood. Like,
he did it to Greenwood a few years ago.
Yeah, like a few years ago. Like it was one of those switches, one of those pitch crosses, which just completely opens up the game because now the whole team has to shift position, and Garnacho took it down beautifully. And you know, Garnacho is one of those players where, when he has the ball on the wing, I'll be honest, in my opinion, I don't have that much confidence because I feel like he's just going to take it on the line and probably cross it in and get blocked. But this time he actually looked up and picked out a pass, which is what we've been calling for all season. Look up Garnacho, pick out a pass. He picked up Bruno edge of the box. Everyone's thinking he's going to shoot. And first time picks up Kobie Mainoo. And let me tell you something about Kobie Mainoo. He probably has one of the best finishing in the Premier League. And I'll say that confidently. I don't see that guy miss. In front of the net.
It's true. The goal against Newcastle as well.
In front of the net, Kobie Mainoo is scoring 10 times out of 10. He is crisp at finishing. There's not much really I can say, but look, he is a top finisher. And I feel like he should be potentially, let's push him up a bit further forward. You don't always have to play him as a DM. Let's see what he can do in and around the box. Because like I'm saying, he's got that touch when it comes to him being in front of goal, and he's just slotted away past the City keeper, and we went 2 up.
We've actually got some quotes that have just come through from the bald Messiah, Eric Ten Hag. He says, it's actually a little bit of a dampener here, actually. This is Ten Hag saying, I'm not satisfied. It's not a dampener, actually. This is actually pure positivity. I've just read that wrong. I'm not satisfied with 2 trophies. We have to do better. He says, if they don't want me anymore, then I'll go anywhere else to win trophies because that's what I've done for my whole career.
Who's that?
Is that Eric Ten Hag? Yeah. I'm just trying to read it. If they don't want me anymore, then I'll go anywhere else to win trophies because that's what I've done for my career. Tul, does that... Again, I don't want to bring the mood down. You know, I've started... When has anyone ever started a United Stand show by wearing a bucket hat, a pair of glasses and pretending to be Liam Gallagher? But let's stoop down slightly and then we'll lift up the mood. But he's not satisfied with the 2 trophies. That's We have to do better. I think we do know that. This is the manager now speaking, I would say, the truth, if anything, because one criticism I've had of Erik ten Hag is certainly after games sometimes trying to pull the wool over our eyes, saying, you know, we played well, this is the way we want to play, but then you go, but come on, mate, we've just been beat 4-0 by Crystal Palace. Do you like that there's a bit of truth in there, or are we reading into this now that this could be a bit of a parting shot because he knows that the new owners have made their mind up about his future?
Yeah, I think that quote is a direct message to Ineos and the Glazers. That is a direct message because guess what? He's right.
He's in a good position now.
I mean, he obviously, you can argue when he was at Ajax, it's like, yeah, you expected to win trophies, and he did win trophies every year at Ajax, but he's won a trophy every year at Man United. It's. I don't think if Kieran McKenna was to come in as a manager, regardless of how we perform in the league, I don't think we'd get to 3 finals in 2 seasons. No, I don't think there's a chance we'd get to 3 finals in 2 seasons. The guy deserves some credit for that. He deserves some serious credit for it. I mean, there's still a lot to be fixed at United, and there's still things that Ten Hag's got to change and get right. But I keep saying this: we've given Ten Hag a 3-year deal because we kept giving managers 5-year deals and sacking them early. If we can't let a manager see out a 3-year deal, then we're Chelsea. And the last thing I want us to be is Chelsea. Just let him see his contract out. Let's see if we can push into the top 4 next season and reevaluate it. If we can get into the top 4 next season, maybe we get to another final next season, then maybe he deserves to stay and let him see the project out. Maybe next season we have a shocker again. Maybe we have an absolute shocker, and then you go, well, at least we let him see the contract out. Let's have a look who's available on the market now, because let's be honest, the options for managers right now, You've got Tuchel and Pochettino, but are they really an upgrade on Ten Hag? For me personally, I don't think they're an upgrade on Ten Hag.
I'm tired of taking Chelsea rejects. How many Chelsea rejects are we going to take?
Exactly. It's like it's first not an upgrade.
Now it's Tuchel. Now it's Pochettino.
It's ridiculous.
So, then there's Conte. Now, how many do you want to take?
They're not good enough for Chelsea, but apparently they're supposed to be good enough for United. Yet you've got a manager here who's won 2 trophies in 2 years, lost an FA Cup
as well.
Yeah, lost an FA Cup final this year, and the kind of reverse to this. But I mean, Erik ten Hag's gone on to say that the depth in this squad is by far not good enough. So to me, this is it's looking like for the thing for Erik ten Hag this evening. I mean, if this is a game of poker, I think Ten Hag's got such a strong hand.
Yeah,
I think. I'm not saying just based on one result, and it should have never been based on one result that it defied a manager. You know, I find it mind-boggling that fans, even when we did the build-up show today, that that the FA Cup final will determine whether Erik ten Hag, one game. Yes, we haven't been great this season, but at the same time, you think if we'd have lost that final this evening, what that means, he's gone. You can't defy it on one game. It was still quite impressive that we made the final, but what he's done now is really, really strengthened his kind of hold at United. And I certainly still feel from people, we went in the pub before, didn't we, just to watch the trophy lift, just to soak up the atmosphere, but to hear other fans, I don't hear many of them saying Ten Hag out. I don't think it's just based on this result either, but he's gone on to say, Erik ten Hag, you see in the last decade, I'll stop doing that, but he says there were not many finals, many trophies, not many young players coming through the first team with high potential. I think the middle group developed very well, Diego Dalot as an example. He went on to say, you see in the last decade, there were not many finals. That's the same thing that's just been, he said on Ineos, talking to other managers or potentially talking to other managers. Erik ten Hag has said, I don't know this, I can't answer this question. Maybe you have your sources, I don't have them.
Yeah.
What do you sense from this Mords now? Does it seem that Erik ten Hag actually knows the outcome of what the inevitable that all these journalists were writing yesterday and throwing out? Does that sound like a man that actually knows, regardless of winning that trophy there today, that he's actually Ineos have already made their mind up about? getting rid of him?
No, definitely not. I think first of all, I think he definitely really wants to stay because I feel like he knows in himself that he has more to prove. Because realistically, right now, if he was to leave, his legacy is going to be based on the fact that no manager wants to get sacked anyway. No one person wants to get sacked in general from your job, but getting sacked in a sense of you weren't good enough, it's going to affect his career going forward.
Yeah, it's a stain on your CV.
It's a big stain on the CV, and I feel like he feels like I've not been given the best opportunity to even show what I'm capable of, because you can't go back to Ajax, or maybe you can, but if I was Ten Hag anyway, I'm just thinking, you know what, Ineos, you've seen the problems that I've had to deal with, but then you've also seen the heights that I've reached. Surely you can evaluate that and say, you know what, the heights that I've reached have been enough for you to say we have a bit more faith in you to give you one more year. And that's why I feel like he's on this whole, because I think he said a few days ago that Ineos have told him already that they're going to build, not around him, but they're going to use him to build back up the squad and build back up the club. So I feel like he is a bit confident. And at the end of the day, look, when it comes to football, the start of the season, you don't care realistically about what happened the last season. You care about what's happening going forward. Ten Hag, he can say, look, in the past 2 years, not only have I won you 2 trophies, I've got you Europe in both of those years. And considering the year that I've had, how many other managers those managers that you're thinking about, how many of them would have been able to do what I've done in these past 2 years? If Ineos can confidently say, yeah, if Tuchel was here, he would have won 2 trophies and got us Europe in both those years, fair enough. If you can say the same thing about Pochettino or McKenna, fair enough. But the reality is they can't say that confidently. You can't say McKenna would have won us the FA Cup this year. You can't say McKenna would have got us. I know we only got Europe because of the Europa League, but Europe's Europe. Who cares? We're going to play there regardless. There's not going to be a different Europe next year. It's going to be the same Europa League that we're playing. So Ten Hag's thinking, you know what, I've done what I need to do. In the start of next season now, we can say we've won the trophy and now we've got the ability to play in Europe. You're probably going to have a bit more money because you're playing in Europe and whatnot. So let's go forward and let me learn from my mistakes. I always say this, let Ten Hag learn from his mistakes as, first time managing a big club. And then after next season, if he's still not constantly, but if he's still underperforming, then you can say you're way out of your depth because you've given you the opportunity now. But so far, right now, he's done enough, in my opinion. He said, you know what, I've given you what you wanted. You want trophies. The fans want trophies. The club want Europe. I've given you both what you wanted. Let's go forward. Yeah,
and he's right when he says that it's not a regular thing for Man United. I mean, if you look at the FA Cup in particular, I think in the last decade or so, we'd only ever been to 1 FA Cup final. He's come in and got us to 2 FA Cup finals in his first 2 seasons. That is massive. Yeah. That is the FA Cup became a thing that was... United weren't near it. A full decade without us getting... We got to 1 final, which was the one Van Gaal won. And he's come in and got us to 2 finals in his only 2 seasons. It's massive.
It's still a big trophy. I'm sure you'll get some City fans this evening that'll go, we didn't want the FA Cup, we won the league, and you just go, swivel on that and shut up. Because you all turned up today, you thought it was going to be a walk in the park, which on paper, man for man, it probably should have been. But Erik Ten Hag, I'm trying to work out whether he's coming out defending or kind of, just battering everybody back here, because he must be feeling the heat. And why should he be? He's just won an FA Cup for Manchester United. Erik Ten Hag, when a reporter brings up the reasons why he should be sacked, said, when you make it like this, sorry to say it, but you have no knowledge about football and managing a team. So that's our manager there, straight away fighting back. Like I just said, the gloves, they're off or on, it doesn't really matter. He's certainly coming out swinging there. When the same reporter brings up not seeing consistently good performances this season, which we have just alluded to and said that we know as United fans, you can't pull the wool over our eyes, performances haven't been good enough. He said, you don't understand managing a football team. When the players aren't there, I can't coach or train them. They won't develop.
Yeah.
This is true, this. This is not deluded Ten Hag where we can look and say this guy's making excuses. And I'd be the first to say I've been critical of what Erik Ten Hag has come out with after games, where I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't see that same thing. But I have always held the injury sort of crisis in his favour and said that he needs his better players. The one main thing today, once we seen that back 4 that was in, I thought, we've got a chance here today. Yeah. Varane and Martinez at centre-back. Martinez, wow.
Yeah.
What a guy.
What a warrior. even the shithousery of, you know, going off the pitch at that time, trying to slow it down, Kyle Walker trying to get into his grid, and, you know, you can just tell, like, Martinez, he's from Argentina, he's the butcher, but he knew what he was doing today, streetwise. Yeah. There's still people, Mords, that think, oh, he's high, you know, he's not going to be able to, you know, make it at the top level. What was his performance? We will go through some of the players. There's so many players, but in terms of Martinez, when's the last time Martinez started a game?
Yeah, honestly.
You know, and he was down, he had cramp. What a performance and shift this man put in today.
100%. And I think for me, the best part about Martinez is not even his physical attributes, it's his mentality. He's gone into this game, he's not 100%. He's probably about 70%, probably maybe even less than that. And the fact that I saw Martinez win a header today against Haaland. I watched the ball come in and Martinez won an aerial duel against Erling Haaland. That shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening. It defies the laws of physics. Yeah. Literally, it shouldn't be happening, but it's the mentality that he has, which it kind of, it erases the fact that he's 5'9", of however tall he is. I don't know how tall he is.
Do you know what it is, Mords? It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
Yeah.
And that applies to Martinez for me.
Yeah, that's a good quote.
That's never, you can have that
Martinez all over that,
yeah, 100%. You can take that one, lads. Put it in your back pocket. Let me just get through these super chats very quickly. Alex says, disgusting to hear people talking about sacking Erik ten Hag. Jimmy didn't say anything, but thank you very much. Sion Jones, who I actually know, says, get in. I can't wait to go to work to rub it into all the smug City fans who were all predicting a record high scoring City win. And that's what makes it sweeter, innit? It really does. Ron says, eras do come to an end. Erik ten Hag defeated Klopp and Pep for this trophy, mate. We didn't have an easy run.
Oh,
you know, anyone that wants to say, they only played, you know, whatever. We've had to, you know, battle against Liverpool, Amad Diallo Day, and we've had to beat City in a final. So it's certainly not been an easy kind of route to winning this FA Cup, which makes it even more sweeter to beat them Blue-Nose Nuggets in the final. Bruce Winder says, have a beer from Bobby Beer in Darwin. Thank you very much. Shine says, Beth would love to bring Luke back on the forum. Oh, yeah.
Bring him back. Oh, this is the last forum. Well,
bring him
please,
back.
Ryan. Someone bring him back.
You know for a fact, if you tried ringing Luke now, he's probably on his way back from Wembley. In fact, you wouldn't even make any contact. The phone will be off. WhatsApps are not getting delivered. He is going off the scale this evening. And enjoy your 4-hour trip back to Stockport, mate. Jimmy's in there as well. Christopher says, this feels like the Sir Alex Ferguson era Erik ten Hag state. Obviously, Sir Alex Ferguson was in the stands today, which was great for him to see United lift the trophy as well. Sally says, Scholes said Amrabat was like Gattuso. I like that.
A bit.
Well, I know, yeah. He was a man possessed.
In that second half, oh my God.
Do you know what? We'll get into
it. He was an absolute monster.
Milan says, guys, bit disgraceful from Mark calling Rashford crying PR, considering we don't know what he's been through mentally. Again, I'm not 100% sure whether he has said that or not. I would say that he has been through a few things in his personal life that I know, splitting up from kind of long-term girlfriend. I think he lost a close friend. And again, we don't know, you know, it's easy for us just to say, he earns such and such amount, you know, a week. He should be going out on there and doing it. But, you know, mental health, we don't know how these players react. You know, we just assume that they should be able to go out. RS7 says, we got Corno, Kev, our own Gallagher and Dan Kaluuya. Simon Collins is in there with the first super chat, didn't say anything. Khalid says, my Reds. Glory, glory, Man United. There's pints for the boys on the forum, buzzing. That's from Nessa Ruddin. Thank you very much. I will make sure that I get that. What is that, £20 or SGDs? What kind of currency is that? But fair play. Ross says, first manager to beat Pep in a domestic cup final since Jose's Real Madrid. 2 trophies in 2 seasons, youth and Europe. What do the owners want?
Exactly.
That's something you were touching on before.
That's what we asked for. We asked for trophies as fans because we've been
and building for the future.
And building for the future. And look, I don't think it's a coincidence that the players who have played the most have developed the most. Dalot's played the most. We've seen a whole new Dalot this season. Mainoo's just come into the first team. We didn't even know what he was before, but he's definitely developed a lot being in the first team. Garnacho, We see him a little bit last season, but he played a lot this season. We see him develop a lot. So it's not a coincidence that the players that have played a lot and the young players that are coming up have developed this much. So let's see what else he can do. Like, it's not going to be like the end of the world if we keep Ten Hag next season and I don't know. We don't have like a crazy development. But
it's very sweet as well, isn't it? That Ten Hag this season has backed Mainoo. He's backed Garnacho. He started them near enough every game.
That's what I was going to say to you, Tul.
What those two lads who have got our goals today. It's very sweet, isn't it? Yeah, love it.
Very fitting. Jim says, not getting top 4 with McKenna. Look how Company did. Jasmine says, win because Trey not around. If not, we lose. Oh my God, there's loads coming through. Mr. D said, Eric was on fire in the interview. I think he's coming out and he's got his right to basically come out and defend himself, which is great. Fresh says, Eric Ten Hag deserves a bigger club with a bigger mentality. Come on, mate. We've just won the FA Cup, but I get what you're going on about. Anthony says, Ratcliffe looks sad every time the camera went on him. He knows that sacking Eric Ten Hag may define Ineos at United. They wanted a loss. Makes it. I can't imagine for 1 minute that Sir Jim, who's supported United all his life, wouldn't want United to lose this final. United once said Eric Ten Hag bought himself more time with this win. Still have concerns next season. Will he continue being stubborn and taking his time to change things? Let's have a look. Kia says Eric Ten Hag won a trophy every season he's been here, bringing the winning culture back after years of us winning Jack Squat. Josh says Viva Le Carrington. Sammy says Eric needs to stay and we need to build a new team around Garnacho, Mainoo and Højlund with the summer clear out. The potential is there. LJ says Eric Ten Hag is swinging. Wolf of Manchester. He knows football. I'm not fucking leaving. That's what Eric Ten Hag's saying this evening. That is what he's saying. But Ineos might have their own view on that. And they might say, well, Eric, you actually are leaving. So it would have been in a Dutch accent as well, wouldn't it? Yeah. I'm not leaving. Something like that. Mr. M. Sati says, can we give Amrabat his flowers? I think it's time to do that now. Tul,
let's do it.
You wanted to touch on this.
Yeah, because I owe him an apology as well. I called him crap about 4 hours ago.
Speak to the viewers and apologise.
Sofian, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
And you know he'll be on the coach on the way back watching the United stand. All the United players watching United
I said you should be sold. I said we shouldn't pay the 20 million for you. But can you just play like that every single game and you'd be a legend, mate? You'd be an absolute legend. That second half performance, oh my God. It was like he'd die. He was ready to die for Ten Hag. He was ready to die for the club. Where's he got this cardio from? I was watching it like, has he taken something? How is he doing it?
That was that Amrabat mode that he activated in this famous game against France for Morocco.
Against Morocco,
you know when you type in like Amrabat best bits, like most of it's to do with this one game where he had an absolute worldie, but that mode got activated today, and I'm there for it. I was like, you know, wow, this is impressive. Yeah. We talk about Bruno Fernandes being the man that's like powered by Duracell. You know, that he literally has a battery pack fitted into him where he just never... Amrabat showed the same kind of consistency in his performance today. You know, you wouldn't have known from the first minute to the 90th where it was. He never seemed to tire. And you needed that today, didn't you, against a Manchester City team like that? Yeah,
not just the quality, but the mentality today, the heart, the desire. That very well could be his last game for Man United, but he played like he wanted to prove a point. He played today like, I'm going to be here next season. And it's good. Yeah, I know what you're going to say. I know what's coming now.
So we won't be reactionary to one game, but you did mention previously that you wouldn't. On the basis of one game against Manchester City in an FA Cup final, would you now... Has he done enough to secure
I'm sold, man. I'm sold. I'll say it shamelessly. I'm sold, man. I was selling everybody. You're idiots. You're stupid. He's been crap all season. He's had 2 good games. Why would we want him in the team? But if he can play like that every single week, if we can get that out of him,
he is capable. And the one thing, how many people said to us before when we were speaking to fans, like, saying, why can't they play like that?
Yeah,
every
Well,
week.
when they feel like it, that's the thing with them. It's like they play the occasion. That's like the problem with them. When you put them up against a Burnley, at Sheffield, or whatever, it's like they can't quite get up for it. But you put them against the Manchester City in a final at Wembley, and all of a sudden,
well, the thing is, we're
all
not
100%.
we were never ever expected to take that game to City today. We were never expected to set the tone for the game. You know, it wasn't like us coming out and going, right, we're Man United, we're going to go on the front foot, because we're not good enough to do that. For me, it was all about City, and you're quite right in the fact that you say, we've done all right against the better teams. You know, we've had good results over the last few seasons, but like you say, against the low block of Burnley or whoever's coming to Old Trafford, this is where we've struggled. And we talk about style of play, where we've not really took a game to anyone, have we? And you can't sit in against a Burnley at home or a Bournemouth, or, you know, because it's just not going to work. But John Wilson, thank you very much for the super chat, says, things can only get better. Who sang that, was it?
Don't know.
No idea, mate.
It'll come to me later on when we've finished. We've got Lannister99, member for 25 months. Wow, says, funny how the second place medal ribbons were red and the winners were a light blue.
Were they?
Look a bit white to me.
Well,
I can't tell.
it's ours anyway. I don't care. You could put blue and white on it anyway. Barakalond says, I don't know what's more satisfying, tonight's performance or seeing Erik ten Hag finally having had enough and bitch-slapping the media and finally punching back. That's what we've just tried to kind of allude to by saying that it does seem like he's coming back, he's coming out fighting. I've never had an issue with Erik ten Hag. I've wanted to at least minimum give it 3 years. I don't like the managers that are being mentioned. I don't seem like they're good alternatives. I don't seem like they're an upgrade. For me, there's still so much deadwood to clear out, so he needs to do that. But we've got one that says, "Hon the boys, up United," from Mac and Noel. Thank you very much, Mac. Oh, I thought it was Noel Gallagher. It's not. Obviously, he won't be in the chat because he'll be crying into a pint of bitter this evening. Have it. Owen said, member for 6 months, the United stand. Tommy says, Lineker and Shearer are gobshites. That could be the new, probably superseded. That's maybe the super chat of the evening. I'm not 100% sure. Is that for something they've said, or
I'm not seeing it.
The fact that they probably thought that City would win?
I think we didn't see it, because we were outside, but I think there's the questions that they were asking Ten Hag. I've seen a lot of people say that.
Right.
Right. Barry Schofield's in there, didn't say anything for super chat. And Tommy says, D-Ream, that was it. Things can only get better. Don't leave me hanging here, Tom, looking at that.
Jesus, before my time a little bit.
I don't look like him in me.
All right.
He's 40.
Hey, lads, I thought we were all the same age here. We're not.
A couple decades behind.
D-Ream, look it up tonight, put it on, dance around. What do you drink? Guinness? Pint of Guinness. There you go. We are coming towards the end of it. This has been, for me on the United stand, I've been through so many. I've had to sit here and respond to Manchester United being beaten 7-0 by Liverpool. So for the years that I've been on this channel, the heartache I've been through. I sat here at this same time last year when Manchester City beat us 2-1, and I did not want to do the fan forum. So many people come up to me and say, Kev, get us on that fan forum. I'll tell you, and I'm like, mate, it isn't as easy as you think. I've seen people even in the old days on the, when we did it on StreamYard and stuff like that, and we've invited people on. Yeah, they give it the big one on Twitter or whatever it was at the time, X. Get me on there. The minute they're on there, they just freeze and shut down, and you're like, all right, mate, you can give it the big one behind your keyboard or whatever, but actually sitting in front of a camera, that's what makes it really sweet for us this evening. That is the fact of what we've been subjected to, the performances we've had to endure. But to do it over Manchester City as well, it's so much sweeter, isn't it?
As well. And one other player that I want to talk about is Wan-Bissaka.
Oh,
Yeah, he
man.
needs his flowers. I'll give you that one.
I need to talk about Beth's watching this because
She will be. She'll be on her way home now.
She gets on to me all the time about Wan-Bissaka, and she has her own agenda, whatever, innit? But
Well, I said sell Wan-Bissaka.
Jesus, so
When we went through
You're backtracking big time.
So when we went through all the players, I said sell Wan-Bissaka. I said don't buy.
So now on the
Amrabat.
basis of one game, you want to give Amrabat a contract, sign him for 20 million, and we're keeping Wan-Bissaka.
and Rashford.
Yeah, I will.
You not think you're being reactionary? No?
Let's give it a week. Let's let the dust settle.
But look, all I want to say at Wan-Bissaka is, look, I said it on the build-up. I said, look, the biggest matchup is going to be if Doku plays, and he came on at half-time, if Doku plays, whatever side he goes on, if Wan-Bissaka's not on him, it's going to be a very, very long day for United.
That was the most interesting battle on that field today, without a shadow of a doubt.
That was all the second half was. Doku versus Wan-Bissaka.
He came on and changed the game.
And people try to I feel like a lot of people undermine Doku because he doesn't get as many goals and assists as maybe like a Foden or other players on the team. But what he does in terms of just being a threat on the wing, he can get past 99% of fullbacks. Genuinely, he's that good. He's so tricky. He's so quick. But we've got Wan-Bissaka, and I've said this all the time. Even though I'm not saying this guy's a world-class player, and I'm not even saying he's better than Dalot. That's not even what I'm saying. But in a time like this, in a game like this, where we need a fullback or a defender to nullify a big threat for an opposition team, Wan-Bissaka is the best person that we can have at that job. Nobody's going to do it better than him. Yeah. And that's what he did today. And even his goal, if you actually watch it, Wan-Bissaka wasn't even on him. It was Garnacho that kind of switched on him for a second, for a brief second.
He was dead on his feet at that
for
time.
A brief second, Garnacho switched on him, and Doku thought it's go time. Swung it up, tapped it up.
And realistically, Onan probably should have
saved it.
He probably should have saved it.
But that was pretty much the only real shot that he had on that side. Everything else, Wan-Bissaka pocketed him. And we've seen him do it against Sterling before. We've seen him do it against Salah. We've seen him do it against Mbappe in the past. So look, everyone who's been hating on Wan-Bissaka, again, you all need to admit that you're wrong, and you all need to give him his flowers.
Do you know who you need to aim that to as well? I mean, there's a famous clip that went kind of viral on thingy of Ricky, who sat in that same chair as you and tried, and this wasn't, he was trying to tell me that Ashley Young is better than Wan-Bissaka. Now, this wasn't like 8-9 years ago or going back, you know, whenever he was at United. He was talking about now, and he tried to say, Gev, Ashley Young's better than Wan-Bissaka, and I'm like, and he actually told me, he said, if you think Wan-Bissaka's better than Ashley Young, you should go and watch netball instead, Kev. That's what he told me. And Ricky's he was at Wembley today as well. You know, he was there. What was he shouting?
Team shape! Team shape!
Team shape! Big at Ricky though. You have to big at Ricky though, because Ricky was actually right. I'll be honest. In terms of keeping the team shape and not thinking about who's going to score.
Won us the game.
It won us the game. So
that was what won us the game.
He genuinely was right about that.
These players have shown before that they are capable of that. When we think of the Liverpool game this season at Anfield, nobody gave us a chance. But yet Manchester United managed to get a 0-0, you know, and it doesn't sound like a great result, but it is at Anfield, especially that team at that time. We were kind of going into it fearing and thinking, what's the team going to be? You know, is it going to be another 7-0? Is it going to be this, that? But it showed that the team knew exactly how to carry out instruction from Erik ten Hag. And they've done that today, you know, 100% they've done it. Anthony, sorry, I'll just read this very quickly, we've got 2 to get through. Anthony says, next season against top sides, we should play Bruno, false 9 and Mount, Kobie and a new central defensive midfielder. Against poor sides, play Højlund and Bruno back in midfield. And Neo United 7 said, what a day, what a performance. Erik ten Hag in. Glory, glory, Man United. I would just like to say, honestly, everybody that's got involved in the chat here this evening.
It's an incredible amount of
Well, even the fact that you've taken your time out of your day, you know, to watch this and that. We know you love the United stand and that is great, but obviously everyone would want to be celebrating.
Yeah, and also the last player I want to talk about, but the final last player I want to talk about is Varane. We need to talk about Varane because it is his last game.
Yeah, fair play.
And
like that.
If you talk about players who win trophies, this is a player that wins trophies. You don't get 5 Champions Leagues by accident. He's not got a World Cup as well.
Yeah, he's got a World Cup.
He's got a World Cup. He's got everything.
And he started every game.
And he started every single one of those games. He started again today from being out injured for how long? He's probably probably the last player to come back from injury of everyone who started that game. So the fact that he's able to come in today and play against the most difficult opposition that he's gonna play against and have a performance like this, you just got to clap, because some players, I don't know where he's gonna go now. Whatever he does with his career, he's one of those legendary players that has shown over and over again that when it comes to winning, he is up there. He's a serial winner. So you got to give credit and flowers to Varane.
That's a great shout because this, as much as I feel emotional anyway, but this will be the last time that we're talking about Varane on a fan forum. Tul, what did you make of the man today? I said before it, even if he's not 100% fit, if you can get that Varane in there, and he was quite instrumental in that Anfield 0-0, coming in, just being that Rolls Royce of a player. He's come in today, you know, him and Martinez have to give us something different at the back. They've held solid, got the result we wanted.
It's just such a shame, isn't it, that you can't stay fit. Yeah. You get some players like this. But I mean, what a player he could have been for us if only he could stay fit.
Is he not one of them players where you look back and think, I wish we would have signed him 5 years ago? He is, so, you know,
he would have been winning trophies then, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, I mean, what a player. Probably one of the best defenders we've got to watch in recent times. But it's just unfortunate. Like, you'd have to say he's unreliable just because of how many times do we get to start him, the amount of injuries he picks up. So, as you know, thank you, Raphael, thank you, mate, but it is just time to move on and let the new guy come in. Hopefully Lisandro Martinez is that guy now. Hopefully he's the guy who's going to be our new winner, because he looks like it in terms of mentality and what football means to him, the way he plays football on the pitch, the way he gives his life on that pitch. Hopefully he's the next guy, man. I
love that. Right, listen, Varane's been an absolute great servant for United. I think at the time he's joined, we've been a bit turbulent, where he's, you know, it's not been a great fit for him. But to win that today, and there's probably other players that will have been there last game that maybe we don't know about. It remains to be seen whether a Casemiro is that his final. You know, he didn't play today. He was injured. There's just so many players, isn't there, that when you look at it, you think that could have been the last game for United. But what a way to go out. I'm just going to double check, Greg. Is that time up? Yeah. I've got Championes ringing in my ear. We'll end with Liam Gallagher, won't we, instead? We'll go back to Liam. Tul, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate.
What a pleasure.
What a day. What a day. Yeah.
I mean, my second ever FA Cup victory, Kev.
Yeah?
Not seen many of them, mate.
How old are you, man?
20.
Right, I'm a lot older than you. Well, how many have you experienced?
More than I'm a bit older than you.
Not so much, man.
Yeah.
But right. Shall we wrap up?
Yeah.
We need to go and celebrate.
We've got to wrap the entire season up, mate.
We'll have to say. Today was gonna be the day that United won the FA Cup. Have a bit of that, Liam, Noel, Bertie Magoo, all them blue nose knobheads. Manchester is red this evening. Manchester United have won the FA Cup. I'm off to celebrate. Make sure you enjoy your evening. Thank you very much for all the super chats. You've been watching the biggest Man United fan channel in the land. This was the United Stand and the home of the FA Cup winners. See you later. Woo!
Come on.